Yes. Yeah. Morgan.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Alan Simpson. I worked at Hamilton and Fulham Council. I used to be part of a steering committee that looked at black history within the borough of Hamilton and Fulham. And when the Tories came to office, it was banned. I remember the headline: "Banned Black History Month." Since that, even all the groups that I can think of within Hamilton and Fulham have failed to mobilise themselves through lack of funding, lack of interest, and that's just reflecting what you said about our not respecting our own history. I feel that we have nowhere to go now to ensure that our history rises to the top. I've done lots of things with the Urban Studies Centre, we put resource packs together, none of the schools turn up. We just feel like everywhere we turn to try and push our history, it's pushing us to close door. It's not even closed anyway, they've bolted it and stopping us from moving black history to where we want it to.
Well, it's not easy, but we've got to beat. There are challenges everywhere. This lady at the back.
Hi, I'm not from Harrow, from East London, but I received an email about this event and thought I'll come along and see what's being said about Black History Month. I, like many people, are aware of Claudia Jones and John LaRose, but there are many other black activists, British activists, that we're not aware of. Is there a book where we can, broaden our knowledge about British activists? And can anybody pass me or point me in the right direction where there is a book that covers, the British activists that we need to know about? And why I say this is because I do work with a number of youth, and I would love to pass on this information about activists that I don't know, because many of us still need to be educated as well, so that we can pass on this information to the youth. So if anyone is aware of a book that I can read and can broaden my knowledge, I'll welcome it.
Just a quick comment. That book, which I'm waiting through now, which we saw the issue of.
Hakim Adi launched a book about Africans and the Pan-Africanism and communists.
I've taught history for many years, and really, you all know I'm well. Came up, my second demonstration in London was against the Chapel massacres. And I was in problem. I had a big problem with the police outside the South Africa in a High Commission when the windows kept falling in for some reason. I came here last week. I tried my best. I was a councillor, as you know, for 33 years, and that's what I'm the old one. But I came here last week, and I'd heard all these names being mentioned, and I was actually in the Communist Party for 12 years. And when that book, Hakim's book, was mentioned, I got it immediately. Now it's a PhD thesis, I reckon, in 400 pages, but it is just one of the most wonderful books that I have read, because all those names that were floating around my head are given a historical perspective. But can I just say one thing? I've been involved deeply in education. I started teaching in a place called Hoxton, which was at Harrow in 1961. And one of my terrible moments was when they were working away quietly, and Norris, who was an African lad, said to me, "No, a black boy is allowed to join the armies." And I thought, oh, I've got to just have a look. And, I saw what was happening. Then I went round and tried to get some posters with projecting posters with images to put in my classroom on the wall. I couldn't find any with black people in professional jobs. Then, the worst thing of the lot was I noticed that black kids were classified more in the lower streams than in the high streams. And I went off to Brunel, and I did an MPhil there, but I used a test at social adjustment, which was called the Bristol Social Adjustment Plan. I had 98 kids in special units, and they were predominantly black. And I couldn't understand. But then I found that the test that was used to classify children, which teachers had to fill in, was based on 300 middle-class kids in Bristol, War I. So that's the nature of the system. And in many respects, the things that, and I'm so glad I came tonight, I really enjoyed your inspirational speech.
Thank you very much.
I just feel, sorry, there's a mountain to climb, and I know that I thought I knew a lot, but I realised how ignorant I am. I want to know more.
Thank you very much. A good reason for you, and you do support, so
okay, I just wanted to say I kind of feel that the text that was up there previously was conveying that Black History Month is not always about like African dancing.
okay, I can explain. Entertainment is part of our lives and everyone's lives, but it says Black history. So we want to focus on history. So the rapper, we'll have a rapper here with, together we can. That's entertainment, but they're speaking to a thing. They're speaking to history. You can sing songs, love songs. That's what I to history. So if we're engaging with dancing or singing, it must be related to history. Okay? Fine. So make sure you can come on that program together so that you can compose something that talks to history. Okay?
I just want to add something to that young man, really. I mean, I just want to add something quite good.
Yeah.
It's not just about the history, but it's also that Black people are pigeonholed all the time.
Entertainment.
We're entertaining, sports people, So it's about, we're more than that, yeah? So that's why we want to focus on those other things as well. They're just as important, but not all of us can be sports people, not all of us can be great singers. But there are other things, really.
In the history of African slavery on the plantations, there's a kind of caricature of a shimmy, shoe, shine, shuffle. And this is a caricature of a black troubadour, somebody who would be an entertainer. And that's been a stereotype that has lasted from then till now. And what the point of the statement is that black history cannot be reduced to that genre of simply entertainment. It is about education, it's about history, it's about science, it's about technology, it's about medicine, it's about astrophysics, it's about planetary travel, it's about building pyramids, empires, queens, it's the full 9 yards.
Good evening. From my perspective, I believe there needs to be more outreach in terms of promoting events like these to young people. I only found out about this event yesterday. I'm from South Kilburn neighbourhood. I run a community organisation for local young people, and there's a lot of schemes that are being run, and people are getting funding to run projects which are put in place and say, okay, we need to help young people, local young people, and they're not at all. It's just about capitalising on various funding that's supposed to be put in place to help young local people. There are a lot of young local people in my area in South Kilburn that will benefit from coming to events like this and being educated on their history. And a lot of them don't even know about these events. There's a lot of funding that's available in local areas to put on events like this, like South Kilburn. There's a scheme called SK Studios, and that is just PR. That is just simply for PR. It's put there. They're gentrifying the local area in South Kilburn. That they get funding to put on projects for young people, and young people don't even know about them. So I believe everyone needs to come together and sort of spread the word and let everyone know in various different communities in London about events like this, because it will really empower them and help them build that sense of self-worth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said. Because putting the issue of communication aside, I think you're absolutely right. And some of the schemes that you can see are quite dreadful in their conception and almost counterproductive. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I want to return to the point that I was making. You see, no amount of money from a town hall can fill the void in our community's lives that has been created by a lack of knowledge to our own history. No other community seeks to have their self-esteem repaired by a grant process from City Hall, Town Hall, or number 10 Downing Street. The Asian community doesn't do it, the Jewish community doesn't do it, no other communities do it. And what I'm saying is that unless Black History Month starts at home, then all money in the world is not going to resolve our problem. And that's why, I said in my opening remarks, I send my children to school. I do not expect my school to teach my son Black history. If they teach it, that's good, right? But I'm not depending on them to teach it. In fact, if anything, I'm sending my child to teach the teacher what Black History Month is in the curriculum.
That you're here. We're glad that all roads lead to Harrow. And the Harrow is actually leading the way, because one thing that I'll say is that it is, because one thing that we love about Harrow is that Harrow has a literary past. We have famous writers who went to Harrow School, and we are boasting about it now. We're very proud of it. So it is not surprising that right now in Harrow we're looking at history. And I'll say that in terms of books, I think I've forgotten the writer, but it's in African Voices. But the person actually said, if you want a book that has not been written yet, maybe you have to write it. So my sister, it's a challenge to you that if the book isn't there, you actually identify the gap in the market. And maybe it's a book we'll all buy. Because you do the research, you put together all these names, and you're right. Because Lee has sort of tested, he's teased our imagination with names that he's thrown into the mix. And these are about people we should know about, these activists. Maybe somebody has to write a book about the supplementary school movement. Because these are people who changed the world at a time when they were defining our children as educationally subnormal. They decided, we'll teach our children. I know one person who became a scientist in Imperial College, isn't it? And this is somebody who they've just written off. So Lee's right, we need to take back education of our kids. Yeah. We need to tell them that, look, you are coming from a great people, and you can achieve again. Don't let anybody tell you that you're less than anybody else.
Thank you. And then maybe the child, but go ahead.
Okay, so I also went to Imperial, so I'm going to come from a scientist perspective. There's a book called Black Women Scientists and Inventors, and also Black Scientists and Inventors is a series done by this publication.
Yeah, yes.
And I think they're quite active in Hackney, perhaps more so than this side of London.
We interacted with them, they've been here for the past year.
So they might have something on civil rights, African civil rights as well.
Not British, that's a problem. That hasn't been documented at all. African British civil rights.
Hi, I just want to say I give it up to all the civil rights activists from the past, but I was wondering if there's any known civil rights activists now, today, because as you were saying before, that we need to start at home. Because we've been so conditioned and brainwashed, there's some people that doesn't even know. They just think this is just normality, and they don't know about it. So I was wondering if there's some activists now that can start the ball rolling and get somewhere.
You don't have to wait. Hold on. When we were at the verge of going to war in Syria, we're on the march. People like these guys. So we have them a whole lot. And civil rights is not just being at the march. Almost everyone who is facilitating is a civil rights person in their own right. Civil rights is quite what. So please get at the borough. Get the contacts. BARC. Yeah, there you go. So they are there. Yeah.
Okay, because I was.
That's what we're all learning. That's what we're all learning. Including myself. Thank you.
But I think can I just comment on that before you go to the next question? Quite cool. I want to comment on that because there's a reason why you don't know about black activists, and that's because they're denigrated and they're attacked and they're undermined by the press. And I think to a certain extent, and it's part of a reflection of our own vacuity, the vacuum that we have in relation to our own culture and history, that even some of our own community shy away from those radical voices because people want a quiet life in general. And you can understand that. You can understand that. But, I always give the tale that if that first African and I said, hell no, I'm not going on that ship, I'm going in that plantation, the struggle would never have started. So our struggle has been characterised by sacrifice. To be a radical, it means you have to sacrifice things, either your personal reputation or your career. Not enough of us are prepared to do that today, that's why you don't know about it. Because the other name you won't know is Audrey and Richard Adams, who are the parents of Roland Adams, who died before Stephen, who were radically committed to a black agenda and were completely slaughtered by the press because of their political attitude. And you should remember that Stephen Lawrence was the 5th black boy to die in Greenwich. He was the 5th. There was Orville Blair, there was Rui Dougal, there was a whole line of them before him, and all of their parents got active. But Stephen is the one who's remembered, and quite rightly he should be, and his parents. But let's not forget every single one of those other parents who made the sacrifice personally with their own children's lives.
So we can talk about that. When we talk about Afro history, it shouldn't just be straight history. That is to say, quoting what has happened. There's got to be an analytical history, as well as incorporating sociology, psychology, religious education, and all the factors that affect our lives. Because if we just stick to the history part of it, it'll be valuable, but it won't be enough. And the reason for that is the factors that are suppressing the Afro world, which is what Lee was speaking about, why we seem to be apathetic. The factors that are holding us back were there in slavery, but after chain slavery, psychological slavery continued, and it's still going on. And it's not just here in Britain, it's a worldwide campaign. The imperial nations make their wealth, their power, their prestige, everything, mainly from the Africans. And it's a psychological factor that while they should be grateful for what we've done for them, they despise us. But we love and respect and honor them. We tend to do that. And this is all psychological.
I just want to ask Lee to sort of throw some insights on current British African activists that he's aware of, just to sort of throw some more names into the mix, current ones.
Well, today you've got my own co-chair, Zita Holborn, who's a black woman who's a leading activist, Gloria Mills, who's part of the TC Race Relations Committee. You've got people like Simon Woolley over at Operation Black Vote. You've got the National Union of Black Students. There's a young woman called Belavia Adibiro. Her name is synonymous with black youth activism. The NUS Black Students Campaign is quite powerful. She's a leading line of that. We're replete with activists. We're just not replete with recognition.
Yeah, that's it. The final word, I think, should go to Lee. Can you give a 1-minute summary of maybe something you'd have liked to say that I didn't get? Lee, summary. Yeah, okay.
I am an African child born with the skin colour of chocolate. Bright, brilliant and articulate, strong and bold. I'm gifted, talented enough to be the best. I'm an African child. Often the target of pity, my future is not confined to charity. Give me a gift of a lifetime. Give me a dream, a door of opportunity, and I will thrive. I am an African child. Do not hide my fault, show me my wrongs. I am like any other. Teach me to dream and I will become. I am an African child. I am the son, daughter of the soil, rich in texture and content, full of potential for a better tomorrow. Teach me discipline, teach me character, teach me hard work, teach me to think like the star within me. I am an African child. I can be extraordinary. Call me William Kamkwamba, the inventor. Give me a library with books. Give me a scrapyard and discarded electronics. Give me a broken bicycle, plus the freedom to be me, and I will build you a windmill. I am an African child. We are the new generation, not afraid to be us, uniquely gifted, black and talented, shining like the stars we are. We are the children of Africa, making the best of us. Yes, I am an African child.
What did you think of the event?
I thought it was really good, really inspiring, enlightening, informative. It was really good to see the Jasper. You know, he's got a wealth of knowledge. If anybody should be writing a book, I think it should be him actually. Wouldn't mind helping, but you know, he's got so much knowledge, and it's just great to see an African mayor. Okay. You know, Councillor Nana Asante. Very, nice to see that. As I said before, I'm not from Harrow, but I did see the advert, and I sent an email. I thought, yes, I'd have to come down and check it out and see what's going on. Of course it was, because it's about us being here. What are we doing? What have we done? Who are the people that have made great strides in history? We need to pass that on to our children who are here as well.
Okay.
We've done wonderful things in the world, but we have to remember what we've done on our doorstep as well. So definitely. It was very enlightening. I really full enjoyed the evening.
Great stuff. Thank you very much. Cheers. Take care.
I thought the evening was really very good. It was very stimulating, and Lee Jasper is as good as always. Okay. And it's nice to really reconnect with that past and to acknowledge the presence of black people in struggle in Britain.
Okay, lovely.
And the struggle continues.
Thank you.
Really inspirational. One of the best speeches I've heard made in that council chamber, and I've made many myself. It's so important that we take notice of what has actually been happening. And he mentioned so many of those names. Bernard Cord, for example, was one of the greatest. The greatest. And look what happened to him. Okay. With the American invasion of Ireland. So, and I'm proud of what's happening in this borough.